Hello guys, now I am going to tell you what are the combination of angles so formed and what kind of angles will form by using the parallel lines and the combination of lines, means pair of lines. For example, if I take two lines, right, what I mean by parallel? If the distance between the two lines are equal in all the points, then the lines are called as parallel. For example, railway track in our daily life, right? So that kind of lines is there. So whenever we consider a line which is crossed on these parallel lines, this is called as transversal. Transversal, right? These are parallel lines and this is what? Transversal. Let's consider this as L and M, where L is parallel to M. And let's consider P as transversal. So LM are the parallel lines and P is a transversal lines. Next, here we have 7 types of angles which are formed through the parallel lines, and this is a linear pair which is separated. Later we will discuss. First, vertically opposite angle. For example, if I consider any two lines, they are intersecting at a unique point. Okay, let's say this is the point. Now, whatever the angles are formed which are opposite to each, for example, what is that? Vertically opposite. The word itself is a definition. Vertically opposite. The angles which are formed opposite to each, those are called vertically opposite angles. So whatever the angles formed here, these are called vertically opposite angles. Now wherever they are formed, always they are equal. So in this case, if I consider the angles as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say these are the name of the angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what mean by vertical opposite angles here? 1 and 3, 2 and 4. I am writing here angle 1, angle 3. Next angle 2, angle 4. Next angle 5, angle 5 and angle 7, angle 6 and angle 8. These are called as vertically opposite angles. You can see 1 and 3 formed opposite to each, 5 and 7 formed opposite to each, 6, 8, 2, 4. So this kind of angles are vertically opposite angles. Next what? Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles means which are divided through a ray or which are divided through a point. For example, this is a line. Okay, so I am taking a line on it which is exactly divides at this point. So whatever the angles are formed here, this kind of angles are known as adjacent angles. And pakka form angles adjacent angles. So for example, if I take one more angle, suppose this is one of the angles. Okay, what happened? I am taking one ray here. What it did? It divided this angle into two parts. So these two parts are called as adjacent angles. Ante ye angle aina two parts ga divide aithe aa pakka pakkana unna angles manam em anali adjacent angles. So ikkada adjacent angles entama 1 and 2. I am writing here 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 1. Similarly 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 7 and 8, 8 and 5. So, ఈ angles ఎక్కడున్నాయో పక్క పక్కన ఉన్నాయి. సో ఇలాంటి angles మనం ఏమనాలి? Adjacent angles. Next, corresponding angles. Corresponding అంటే here the angles are formed. One of the angle formed on outside, another one is inside. For example, మనం ఒక లైన్ తీసుకుందాం ఇక్కడ. So, let's say this is the line. Okay, so నేను ఏం చేశాను ఇక్కడ 2 transversals తీసుకున్నా. On this line I have considered 2 transversals. So whatever the angles are formed at these 2 points, these are called corresponding angles. These are called corresponding angles. అలాంటి angles మన దగ్గర ఏమనేమో 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 4 and 8, 3 and 7. So these are corresponding angles. And one of the angle will form the outside and another angle will form inside. So here we can write it as angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, angle 4 and angle 8. These are called corresponding angles. What does it mean? where the angle, one of the angle formed outside the parallel lines, another angle will form inside the parallel lines. Next, alternate interior angles. Alternate means what? One by one, right? So wherever the angles are formed to opposite sides, for example 3 and 5, 4 and 6, these are what? Alternate sides, means one is opposite to other. So this kind of angles are known as alternate angles. And what is it here? Alternate interior. So whatever the interior angles we have, which are formed inside the parallel lines, are called as alternate interior angles. So here what are the alternate interior angles? Angle 4 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7. These are alternate interior angles. Similarly, hope you guys know alternate exterior angles. What is that? Same as it is, which are opposite to each. But the difference is what? Here the pair of angles will form outside the parallel lines. For example, 1 and 7, 2 and 8. 1 and 7, 2 and 8, which are formed opposite side of the transversal. Those are called alternate angles. So interior means the angles which are formed inside. Exterior means the angles which are formed on outside. Next, interior angles of the same side of transversal. Alternate angles means what? Formed opposite sides. On the same side means what? They are formed on the same side of transversal, the opposite of interior, alternate angles. So similarly, here also interior angles of same side of transversals. So whatever the angles which are formed interiorly means inside the parallel lines, those are interior angles, and on the same side, for 4 and 5, angle 4 and angle 5. Next, angle 3 and angle 6. These are the angles which are formed inside and which are on the same side of transversal. Hence, they are called as interior angles of the same side of transversal. Right? Next, exterior angles of the same side of a transversal. Hope now you guys understand what I mean by exterior angles of the same side of a transversal. Right? If you know the answer, please keeping in comment box. Right? Next, the last one is linear pairs. Now, what I mean by linear pair? Linear pair means you already are aware of 180 degrees, right? Supplementary angles, right? The angles which are combination. If the sum is 180 degrees, those are called as supplementary angles. Here also the same thing. The sum of the angles is 180 degrees. They are known as linear pair. But there is a difference between supplementary angles and linear pairs. What is the difference? Supplementary angles can be two different angles. Means one can be at one side, another can be. Means two angles will be at different places or at the same places. But linear pair, these angles will form on a straight angle. For example, let's say this is a ray where this is the end point of two rays. This angle is called as what? Straight angle, right? This is what a straight angle. If I divide this straight angle into two parts through a ray, whatever the angles are formed here, the sum of the angles is obviously 180 degrees. But what happened? That 180 degrees is divided into two parts. Hence, these are called linear pairs. The difference between supplementary angles and linear pair is what? Supplementary angles also, sum of the angles is 180 degrees. But they can be formed at two different places. But linear pair definitely needs to form on a straight angle. Hence, these are the angles so formed by the pair of parallel lines. These are the types. Hope you guys understand. If you have any kind of doubts, please ping in the comment box. Definitely I will reply to your comments and I will make one more video on your doubts.